Jeff, Jim, and Carmela, part number 19. Jim's apartment was a 10-minute drive from the radio station, and as he drove, he could not get the voice of Carmela out of his head. He had always felt like he was a person who could handle just about any situation. Speaking in public or in a conversation, he was always calm and collected and could hold his own in all situations. However, tonight, someone caused him to have dead air. In fact, he was talking to himself as he drove home, saying, "Dead air time. Can you believe I was so taken back by a voice on the telephone, I had dead air time?" He said this several times, and each time he would answer himself by saying no. That night was one of the few times Jim could not get to sleep almost instantly. Usually, when his head hit the pillow, he was asleep. This night, he was wide awake thinking, who was this girl named Carmela? Jim only needed about 6 hours sleep, and when he awoke the next morning, he still had that voice in his thoughts. It was almost like hearing a tune that you continue to hear hours after you listen to it. As Jim enjoyed his morning breakfast at the pancake shop located near his apartment, he was still thinking of the voice on the control room phone. He began to wonder if the voice of Carmela fit her looks. If it did, Jim was thinking she must be beautiful. One thing disc jockeys did not like to do was take record requests. Most of the announcers had a playlist, and most would stick to that list. Most of the people who phoned the radio station's request line were considered people with nothing else to do but call the radio station. That was the reason Jim seldom, if ever, answered the radio station request phone. Carmela did not sound like the average caller, and Jim knew that voice he heard on the request line would have him thinking about answering it more often. People who worked in the disc jockey profession had all kinds of stories about fans who were in love with the disc jockeys. New announcers usually started at a radio station job with a request line ringing off the hook. In this case, a blinking light that never stopped blinking. People, especially on the evening program, received the most fan support.